I anticipate Mr. Hiller trying to say that a political subdivision cannot require you to register a vehicle. That's true. However, the state of Texas can require you to register a vehicle, which I'm sure you're all aware because most everyone has their vehicle registered. And this officer, while she is a city police, can enforce state regulation. Thank you.
Can I rebuttal?
Yeah, so opening statement.
Okay. Okay. Is there any proof of me running the stop sign?
I'm sorry?
Is there any proof of me running that stop sign, or is it just hearsay?
So right now, it's just kind of the opening statement where you would kind of give a roadmap of what you expect the evidence to show, but you will have an opportunity, yes. We're not into the meat of the case.
Do I need to go over here? Or
no,
here?
You can stay right there. I'm just going to start the timer for the 10 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay. How many of y'all have been through driver's ed? You remember driver's ed? Okay. You stop in front of the stop sign, where that means the stop sign's in front of you. If you drive around town, you'll notice most people pull past that. So I stopped in front of the stop sign. I've gone back to that spot, got out of the truck and walked to the front of the truck. I can't see where the officer had been sitting. And then as I'm rolling that day in question, as I was rolling forward, I told my wife, I was like, look, about time they start working this area. I see people not even brake coming through here, but I was rolling, you know, kind of creeping forward as I was telling her this. We were going to get a hamburger. We got up to Salem, and then when I pulled out into Salem, the close lane, I'm signaling to go left, and when I did, checking mirrors, I saw an officer, lights on, and I said to my wife, I was like, oh, they're going to go get somebody.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's courtroom showdown is a perfect example of what happens when internet legal theories collide head-on with reality. On one side, we have the state of Texas armed with traffic laws, police testimony, video evidence, and a jury of ordinary citizens. On the other side, we have a man who firmly believes that because he's traveling instead of driving, the rules that apply to everyone else somehow don't apply to him. Now, if you've watched sovereign citizen cases before, you probably already know where this is headed. But what makes this one fascinating isn't just the legal arguments, it's the complete disconnect between personal belief and legal reality. Throughout this trial, you're going to hear references to Supreme Court cases, constitutional rights, federal statutes, and the famous right to travel argument that sovereign citizens love to cite. The problem? As you're about to see, citing legal terms and actually understanding what they mean are two very different things. Pay close attention to how the judge handles this case. Notice how patient everyone remains, even when the defendant repeatedly misunderstands the law he's relying on. Also, watch how the jury reacts to the evidence compared to the arguments being presented, because by the end of this trial, one question becomes impossible to ignore. What happens when someone is absolutely convinced they're right, even when every piece of evidence, every statute, and every legal authority says otherwise? And trust me, the verdict isn't even the most interesting part. The real lesson comes from watching a defendant repeatedly double down on arguments that simply aren't working. So grab your popcorn, because this courtroom battle is about to become a masterclass in the difference between personal opinion and legal fact.
So then, as I'm turning the turning lane, at the light, Butch, one of the plumbing inspectors, was sitting there, and he's like, "What?" I said, "I don't know. I think they're after me." So as I pulled left, she pulled in behind me. I pulled into the next neighborhood, and at no time was I ever told why I was pulled over. I had to read that on the ticket. So I am challenging the stop sign. I tend to make sure I stop in residential areas. I've got my name all over the truck. It's a plumbing truck, personal truck. And as far as the registration, the prosecutor did say Texas codes. I'm working off of the Texas codes and dispute that. That's all I have right now.
Right here, we're already seeing one of the most common sovereign citizen patterns. Instead of focusing on the actual facts of the stop, whether he stopped at the sign and whether his registration was valid, the discussion immediately shifts toward broad legal theories and personal interpretations of statutes. Notice something important. Juries are generally tasked with evaluating evidence, not rewriting laws. The prosecution only needs to show that the traffic laws existed and that the defendant violated them. That's a much simpler burden than trying to debate constitutional philosophy. What's especially interesting is that the defendant genuinely appears convinced that he's discovered a legal loophole that millions of licensed drivers somehow missed. Yet courts hear versions of these arguments over and over again, and the outcomes are remarkably consistent. The law doesn't suddenly change because someone disagrees with it. As this case unfolds, watch how often the defendant argues what he believes the law should be rather than what the law actually says.
So when the vehicle stopped the truck, what happened after that?
As I exit out of my patrol unit, the driver immediately exited out of the vehicle and reached into the back seat. I instructed the driver to stop as we were in the middle of the traffic stop. He stated that he was getting whatever information he needed to provide to me at the time.
Is that a common on a traffic stop?
It's not.
Do people usually just stay seated in the driver's seat?
They do.
And so this is a little out of the ordinary.
It is.
So when he got out of the vehicle, what happened after that?
He immediately became defensive, saying that he was providing me a packet of papers, stated that whatever information I needed was going to be in that packet that he provided.
Okay. So you mentioned body-worn camera. So is there body-worn camera in this stop?
There is.
And is there in-car video that captures the running the stop sign?
There is.
Did Mr. Hiller give you any identifying information during the stop?
He did not, aside from the packet that he gave me.
And what was the name on the packet that he gave you?
Once I looked through it, it did say Charles Hiller is one of the names.
Sir? Hello? Sir? Sir? You're on a traffic stop. You can put that, okay. There's no need to reach inside the, huh?
Give my information.
I didn't ask you to get out of the vehicle, so.
My information was in the
Okay.
back seat.
I didn't ask you to get out of the vehicle. It's officer safety things.
You
Go
didn't
ahead.
say a damn thing other than when I got out of the vehicle, sir, you're on traffic stop.
What does this have to do with anything?
That's all the information you need.
For what?
Can everyone hear the
That's who
audio?
I am.
Okay.
There it is.
You don't have like a driver's license?
I don't drive.
You're driving a vehicle.
Traveling in a vehicle. I'm not operating in commerce, which is the only thing that you can.
Okay. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Officer Gallegos with the Victoria Police Department. The reason why I stopped you is you ran a stop sign in the at the 300 block of Queensway. You did not stop, and you ran.
I ran it.
You drove through
Sure, I
this.
didn't
You did not stop.
slow down at all.
You did not.
Yeah, I was hitting the brakes and may not get
Nope.
to a total complete stop, but
Which is a violation of traffic
that
code.
is.
Which is a violation of traffic code. Okay.
That's
Do you have a
code.
driver's license with you?
I don't drive.
You're operating a motor vehicle.
I'm operating my personal property.
Okay. Go ahead and stand right here for me, okay? Or if you like, if you don't have a couple of these, can you back to the registered owners, please?
And you're parking in front of a fire hydrant.
Because I am